Action.
Part 3, honey harvesting series that we're putting out. This is the most exciting one yet because we actually get to get the honey out of the combs. So stay tuned. It's going to be fun and probably a hot, sticky mess.
So as Rachel said, honey harvest time today. We ended up with 1 super's worth of honey from a hive this year. The other, if you caught our last video, the other super was empty. Our flow hive was empty. So this is what we're going to harvest this year. We didn't really even expect to have much honey this year. And it is our first year, so we don't have an extractor. So what we're going to do is scrape these frames off. We won't be able to reuse the pre-drawn comb for the bees next year, but we need to get the honey out so that we can put it in our bellies. So what we're going to use is a 5-gallon bucket, small piece of lumber, clean, drill a screw through it to rest the frame on, and a couple little notches on the bottom here so it can rest on the bucket. Pull our frames on here, we'll scrape them off. We get it all collected, then we'll use a strainer to filter out the wax, which we'll save for a different project.
I think it can be intimidating to some people to even get in the beekeeping business or hobby because it can be expensive to start up. And so this is a good way to keep your costs down. You don't have to buy one of those outrageously expensive extractors, and you can still get your honey out and reuse your frames for your bees the next year.
Right. Yeah, so these aren't even all the way full. So for us to invest a few $100s into an extractor this year, it's just not worth it.
Right.
Next year, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah. You ready?
Are you?
Yep. He's going to do the holding and I'll try doing the scraping. We're up higher than we did last time when we pulled a couple frames, so I'm not sure my reach is
You
going
need
to
a
work.
little stool before we get started, because we can redo this part real easy.
No, it's fine.
Alright, so here's the little screw that we put in there. If you set your frame right on there, it gives you a good resting point, and the frame will keep the frame from sliding around.
Yep. Just hold it. You're going to have to watch your fingers down there. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Last time we set it in the truck, it was like during the summer, and it really made it warm. It's kind of sticky this time. It's a lot lighter than the last honey.
And it smells amazing. That was fun.
Yeah, how many times did you wash your hands during the process?
10 maybe?
He hates sticky hands.
I hate sticky hands, and I'm like terrified of getting like honey stuck all over our camera.
Oh, okay. So we have probably just under like half a gallon or half of a 5-gallon bucket, but it's got lots of beeswax in it. So we're going to strain it now using this honey strainer.
Yep, so something we picked up on Amazon. It's actually designed for filtering honey. There's a double mesh system. This one's pretty thick. This one's more fine. But it's specifically designed to be not so fine that if there's pollen in your honey, the pollen will fit through that fine mesh.
Yep. I can't remember how we did this last time. Did you pour it?
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
poured it and then
Mushed it?
you mushed it and the honey went through and then...
Okay, so we're gonna do that a few times. I got an extra bowl that we'll put the beeswax in. And then if I remember right, early in the spring, we kind of just, because we know we can't get all the honey out of the beeswax, we let it set for a while after we processed all the honey and got more honey out.
Right, because it was summer and I think I left it in my car for like 3 days.
Yeah, so we'll try that process again.
Yep.
Oh, careful, you're going over this side. Honey.
This one's going
Okay,
over the
stop,
side
stop,
over
stop,
here.
stop, stop.
All sticky again.
I'm gonna have to just deal with it. So let's see if we can see anything. Not yet.
Yes, there are advantages to doing this during the summer when it's 90 degrees outside.
Yeah, it definitely flows a lot faster.
So what we'll do is there's only so much wax that this filter can actually collect, and eventually it will get full. We'll offload the wax into the bowl and then we'll repeat the process again and we'll keep doing that.
I hear it now though. See?
Ah, yes.
It's gonna take a while. We'll be back with you shortly after this 5-minute break.
It's handy. So the filtering process is
Sort of done.
pretty much done, 98% done. One of the things that we will do is we'll take all the wax at the end of the night and we'll put it in the filter and we'll leave it sit on the bucket overnight just to let gravity do the rest of its thing on it. But what we did end up with so far is about 2 gallons of honey from our single 10 frame medium super that we pulled. Not all the frames were full.
Yeah, we only really pulled 9 frames.
9, maybe, well, that one we didn't even do the other half of it.
That's right.
So there's a couple frames that like there might be like 90% was empty and like 10% in the middle was full. We just left those. We didn't even scrape them. We'll recycle that resource next year. But we're going to jar up what we do have tonight so that we can
I want to see the finished product.
enjoy and be proud of what
Yeah.
our bees accomplished. And
I went ahead and pulled 1 jar of our early spring honey so we can compare a difference in colors. So that's the main thing I'm most excited about seeing.
Yep, and I'm well aware that this process of jarring your honey will go a whole lot smoother with a honey gate, which is like the little valve that you put in the bottom of your bucket, which I did buy some on Amazon, and I tried to install them last night and I cut my hole completely in the wrong spot and failed miserably. So we'll do it the old-fashioned way.
So what kind of flowers do you think this mostly is? Mostly summer honey, right? It's not fall honey because we never got anything during the goldenrod bloom.
Right, goldenrod we didn't get anything. Like 2 ladles fills one of these jars perfectly. A lot of it's going to be spring and summer honey, which would mean a lot of it's going to be dandelion.
And clover. Oh, is clover the same thing as
And
dandelion?
clover. We had
Ton
a
of clover.
ton of clover. And then whatever trees are going to be in the area, apple trees,
Yeah, or cherry tree.
cherry trees.
They were on the wild roses a lot too.
This is our last jar. We'll end up with a little bit in the bottom, but like we were saying earlier, we're going to leave the filter on top of the bucket overnight with all of the wax in it. Try to get the rest of it out. So there might be another half a jar in the bottom still, but for tonight.
This wraps it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pints and 8 half pints. Pretty pleased. And it tastes pretty darn good.
Yeah, it does. And I'm very, very sticky.
Yes.
Just like you're very, very sticky, and our kitchen counter is very, very sticky.
Very sticky.
But thanks for coming along with us this year on our first year journey as beekeepers or bee owners, depending on
Yeah, we're not going to call ourselves
you word it.
beekeepers until they make it through winter. And then we'll say we're level 1 beekeepers. But I did tell you I was going to show you the difference in the color. I don't know if you guys can see that, but pretty different. This one has a lot of pollen in it. So, well, it'll be interesting to see after this one settles if we have as much pollen.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming along. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and like it for us.
Yeah, please. And I encourage anyone that's interested in raising bees to go ahead and give it a go. Can't hurt.
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
It's not.
Especially if you're somebody who likes to learn. If you like to learn new things and research things and learn from other people, it's definitely a good hobby to get into.
But it's almost one of those hobbies that they do their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, the bees do all the work.
Right.
I mean, we got to go out and check on them and make sure they're doing good and feed them. But it's been fun.
Yep.
Bye. Thanks for joining.
See you guys.